Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface. So yesterday we saw rank 8 of the Brawlers Guild. Today, we're going to see rank 9, which is currently the final rank within the Brawlers Guild. And yes, I know, I'm kind of like heavily geared now for this, but some of the fights, definitely not all of the fights, but some of the fights, mechanic-wise, you still have to be spot on. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what level of gear you're kind of rocking at the moment. You will die. So this is the first boss of rank 9. Big Bada Boom. Big Bada Boom, Big Bada Boom. And it starts off with a colossal bomb. And the more you derps it down, it begins to split into smaller bombs. Now, I'm lucky because I am a pet class and I do have a tank. So I'm managing to keep the majority, also combined with the fact that I am range DPS, I am managing to keep the majority of them at bay while I burn them down. Now, melee, obviously you do not want to be separating them as much as I am. I'm just splitting them and burning them down quickly. But if you're in melee range and these guys explode, ouch! It's going to probably hurt rather a lot. Let's see, I've already taken some splash damage, about 200k splash damage. So you've got to be very, very careful indeed. But now I've managed to separate one. My pet, and I brought in my AoE Guardian pet as well, has got another couple away. So for me, this fight wasn't too difficult. This was one shot. But yeah, you just got to be not too cocky, but my shield, because of all the damage that I'm doing, all the AoE damage that I'm doing, I'm building up significant 15% shield on me. So even when they explode and I take the splash damage, the shield is absorbing the vast majority of it. So that's the first one done and dusted. And that was what I would class as relatively easy. Like I said, one shot. Didn't think I was in any difficulty throughout the course of any of that fight. I don't even think my health dipped below around 500k. Now we're going to get a relatively tough one. As you can see, I've decided once more to ditch my pet and do this with Grimoire Sacrifice. And you've got to start this fight in the top right hand corner, and it's Nibbler. Not to be confused, of course, with the Futurama pet. Now, this fight plays out a little bit like Snake. Remember Snake that you used to have on your phone in 1924 or something? Anyway, you have to move Nibbler. You have to keep it on the go at all times while it leaves this vapor trail behind it. And it can't touch its vapor trail. If I was to stop and DPS it, it would get stacks. It would gain buff stacks from standing within its shield, within its trail, which would actually start to shield it from damage. The Nibbler would actually start to take some like 50% reduced damage, and it would also increase its damage exponentially. It will grow to a massive size, and it will basically one-shot you. So you've got to keep it on the move at all times. You can see what I'm doing is I'm kind of like coming back on myself and trying to fill as much of the battleground in as possible. And then at random points he will do, or she, we don't know what sex this goddamn snake is. Most snakes are, oh, I'm not even going to go there. It'll also do a random venom spit, which usually appears behind you. So again, just negotiate your camera to a point where you can see everything. Melee, you got it better this time, as opposed to the last fight where you had it more difficult. This fight is actually a little bit easier for you because you can probably do your full rotation while moving, whereas I had to just use the spell which I could cast, which was Incinerate, on the move, and that was pretty much it. But I got through it. Now, that wasn't a one-shot. That took me about 3 or 4 attempts, I believe. That said, this was a one-shot, and I've got to say, this was the easiest fight that I came across in rank 8 and 9. Dr. Fist. Again, for melee, got it a little bit more difficult because you have to avoid the attacks. But for me, I could stay at max range. My pets absolutely cemented the aggro of Dr. Fist, and I just burn. And because my direct damage spells with Soul Leech are also applying the shield effect to my pet, even when Dr. Fist does the full attack here, where my pet can't sneak behind it and avoid it, it didn't take a spot of damage. I don't think we took a single solitary point of damage in this fight. And Dr. Fist just got burned. Worst Bond villain ever, I think. I mean, he looks cool, though. He looks rather nice. But this sets us up for the final fight. And the final fight, I do believe, is the toughest. I've heard some people say that they reckon Nibbler is the toughest fight. I don't. I think the final boss is, because you've got to get your tactics spot on. This is a fight that, again, your item level will help you in certain segments, but unless you get the mechanics of the fight correct, you're always going to fail. Okay? So what we got, I think it's called Ahoo'ru or something. Some daft grenade. We're going to see plenty of daft grenades soon, though. Spoilers! There we go. Ahoo'ru. And you get about 5 seconds burn while he makes his way to the middle of the room and then goes immune. And you see he's got a 3 on him. He's got 3 stacks of immunity. Now he casts all these little stars. Don't touch them. If you touch one of the stars, you'll take about 200,000 damage. But he does a kind of like a prayer of mending or something like that effect. And he will supercharge one of the stars. Touch it and you'll spawn the Avenging Angel. When you burn the Avenging Angel down to 50%, it will begin to charge. At the end of its charge, it will do like a Divine Storm attack where you were at the end of the charge effect. You've got to make sure that you were sat on the boss's face at that time and then move out of the way of the charge, otherwise it'll hit you for like 1.5 mil or something daft like that and will one-shot you. And what it will do is it will remove one of those stacks of the boss's immunity. So you've got to do it 3 times. And I think, there we go, that's the 3rd. But you can see I've got my Observer Pet out. Why have I got my Observer Pet out? Haven't got my Tank Pet out. You need to have an interrupt in this phase. And Warlocks can only interrupt through this pet, through the Observer. And what he does is, throughout the course of this burn, he will attempt to heal himself back up to full health, 100% health. Now, I could fear him to interrupt him, and I could horror him to interrupt him, but he would attempt to recast it immediately afterwards. It's not a proper interrupt. Whereas, if I use my pet's interrupt on him, then he will not attempt to recast that ability for a little bit longer. But here I go, I've just managed to sneak it in, and that took me about 8 or so attempts. It was a tricky dicky fight, but there we go, rank 10, yay! So I've hit rank 10 in the Brawlers Guild. Somebody said grats to me over there, don't know who, but thank you. Which is really cool. But what I wanted out of this wasn't just the satisfaction of being able to get rank 10. I wanted the Mushan! As I ended yesterday's video with my lovely song, Mushan Rouge. But there we go, there's the little blighter, and doesn't he look sexy? I've wanted a Mushan ever since I saw somebody riding around on the Galleon mount. And I was just like, oh, I want one. And I'm not fussed about the one on Timeless Isle. This is the one that I wanted. So yes, I hope you enjoyed the vid. Please do like, comment and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook and Twitch. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.